So my name is Carlos Castillo. I am an Englishman born in London of Spanish parents, but I have lived in Canada since 1981. So that's that. I'm also known as Jackal or the Running Jackal. We're going to walk about 10 kilometers today. We're planning to do 100 minutes of fast walking. And we have survived the pandemic so far. My little bubble, Norma, my wife, Zara, my youngest son, and my oldest son, Carlos, is in the States, so he can't be part of our bubble. I used to work in the healthcare business as a home care worker. Before that, I worked as a chef, and I owned my own restaurant in Montreal. San Juan, Parkside, Mount Marcus Crossroad, Lloyd's Bridge. And then turn and come back. Yeah. There used to be a Talus box there, so maybe they put that on the ground. I don't know. 10 minutes, 56 seconds per kilometer. Finally, the lights have gone. He's still left this one guy hanging from the decorations there. And he's got his lights all the way around the eaves of the house. What else can I tell you? I do a lot of running, I do a lot of e-biking, and I do a lot of walking and hiking. I'm very fortunate to live in a very beautiful part of British Columbia. Guy's talking to himself on the phone.
Time 3 minutes. Workout average pace 10 minutes 36 seconds per kilometer.
The weather here is mild. In the winter we get a lot of rain, but in the summer it's warm and wet and sunny. The man who has the figs. But the man who didn't have any figs this year. So that's just about it. My little introduction to myself, basically introducing me to all of you guys. Hopefully we'll be getting lots of submissions and everything will be kosher, and I'll be able to put a show together in a couple of weeks with your collaborative effort.
Time 4 minutes. Workout average pace 10 minutes 26 seconds per kilometer.
Send me name, who, what, where, when, and why of you in 300 words or less, as Mr. Russell would say. So this is the Running Jackal, finishing off his little 5-minute spiel. Bye-bye. It might be his toolboxes, the blue one and the red one. Oh, yeah. Yep. Like a sewing box.
Time 5 minutes. Workout average pace 10 minutes 32 seconds per kilometer.
Cooper, and I have a podcast called Maggie's Running Podcast. I've often thought about changing the name to something a little bit more inventive, but it's stuck at Maggie's Running Podcast, I'm afraid. So I'm, well, you probably can tell from my accent that I'm English. I live on the Wirral, which is very close to Liverpool, just across the River Mersey from Liverpool. But you might be able to tell, if you're discerning, that I don't have a Liverpudlian accent. And that's because I'm not from these parts. I'm from the southwest of England, from a town called Cheltenham in Gloucestershire. And I've also lived in London for most of my life. My family moved up to the Wirral in 2015. And so my husband is the vicar of 3 local churches. So that's what places us here on the Wirral. I actually still work down in London. I work for King's College London. And my job, I'm actually a pharmacist by training, and I did my PhD in medicinal chemistry and pharmacy. And my job is working with radioactive drugs. And my role is really to transfer those drugs which we make in the lab into patients in the hospital. And so with my sort of good knowledge of like science and research, and also my knowledge of the regulations that are required in order to get drugs into, or new drugs into patients, I kind of bridge the gap between the hospital and the lab. And that's quite fun. And I do that part-time. At the moment, I'm working from home because of COVID-19. But I normally travel down to London. Had been travelling down once a week. I may reduce that when we're allowed to travel again, so it seems to be pretty much okay doing a lot of work from home. So I have 3 children, ranging from 16 years down to 8 years, and they keep me busy. And the other thing that keeps me busy is some community work that we do in our church. We have a community interest company that at the moment is mainly focusing on providing food to those in food poverty. So we live in one of the most deprived areas of the country. I think it's in the bottom 1%. And so there are a lot of people really, really struggling around here. So we get some food in from various charities and donated food, and buy some food in. And we sell that off cheaply to the people in our community, and that really helps them. And we can also offer advice, and we've got other projects that we want to get up and running. COVID has kind of put a little bit of a hold on some of those projects, but we have some good ideas, one of which actually involves like a walking, running, jogging type group, which we think will be really great for people in this area, help people, especially in social isolation, to come out and find somebody to go on a walk with along the prom, which is just really, really nice. So that's really who I am, but I'm also a very keen runner, and I run for Wirral AC. And we've got this great group of athletes on the Wirral, and we train together normally. And one of the things I've really learned through this whole situation with COVID is that things really work better if you work together. And that's true both from the running point of view, as our team supporting one another, and also in the community supermarket where we have lots of volunteers coming to help, and just the teamwork, working together, supporting one another is been terrific. And also other voluntary organisations of the Wirral helping and supporting each other through this whole period. But particularly, I think the athletes have really been a great support. The coaches have really come together. The whole group is gelled together, people encouraging one another, supporting each other. And I think that wouldn't have happened without this situation. So I really want to think about the positives that have come from COVID, and not the negatives that it's so easy to dwell on. So so that's just a little bit about me, and you can find me on Maggie's Running.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you happen to be listening to this. My name is JD. At least that's the nickname that most of my friends refer to me with. And I have been asked to make a submission here for my amigo, Carlos. So, hard to turn down an invitation. Just currently taking my dog for a walk here in South Central PA where I live. And I think we'll talk to you about some heart rate training. That's my big I am training for a couple of races this year. I have a half marathon, hopefully, happening in the beginning of May, and a marathon happening at the end of October. But that's the only real races I'm planning on this year. Most of my training is just for the sake of staying fit and healthy. So in order to make sure I do that properly and don't risk injury or illness, I am monitoring my health status by following what my heart is doing. So just ended up getting a brand new heart rate monitor, chest strap. It's an HRM Tri, so it's a triathlon one. Got it for two reasons. One, because it was a good price. And also being a triathlon chest strap, it's waterproof. So I don't have to worry about wearing it if it rains, which my previous chest strap, which kind of went to the chest strap heaven in the sky after 6 years, was not waterproof. So if it was going to rain, I couldn't wear it. It would definitely have damaged that. So one of the benefits of getting a triathlon chest strap, even though I don't plan on doing triathlons. So, and if I want to wear it in the pool and get some data from a swim, I can do that too, but I won't be doing a lot of that. So mostly just to make sure it doesn't get ruined if I wear it in the rain. So there it is. Got some birds chirping right there for you. We still have a bit of songbirds going on around here, even though we're basically halfway through the month of January. We have a big holiday here in the States on Monday, which is called Martin Luther King Day. And depending upon where you live and where you work, it may very well be a holiday for you. Or it may just be a holiday for your post office and your bank. So it is a holiday for me. I am fortunate in that respect. Got a beautiful sunrise off to my right, which of course is to the east, because that's where the sun likes to come up from. And I may snap a picture of that, but I wanted to make sure I did my 5-minute duty here. Where am I at right now? Looks like I'm at 3.5, so I have a little over a minute left to talk to you. So there it is. What else? Currently in a training program through Mr. Galloway, known as customized training. So I have a real person named Chris Twiggs, who is my actual coach, and it's kind of nice. We get to chat, although via Zoom. But people join this from all around the world. So there's actually somebody, and I don't recognize the accent well enough. So he's either from New Zealand or from Australia. I believe it's Australia, but I could be wrong. Who was on the call. So it's an international call. There's people from all over the United States and Canada and around the world. So it's kind of neat to be talking to fellow runners all around the globe. So it's kind of nice. All right, time check. All right, 4:40. This is probably where I should wrap things up. So from chilly, but not scary chilly for this time of year, South Central Pennsylvania, this is JD saying hello.
bit of a strange incident on my run the other day, and it made me just think about, are we becoming less sort of socially helpful or considerate, I suppose, due to COVID? And, would I have done things differently had it not been this situation with having to social distance from people and everything? So what happened was I was out for a run, and I saw this man sort of staggering across the road. And as he reached the pavement, he sort of missed his step on the pavement and fell sort of sideways, keeled over into the road, into the actual road, well, not just the pavement. And I was like, what should I do? I'm not even supposed to go within 2 meters of somebody that I don't know. Neither of us are wearing face masks. Yet there's this guy lying in the road. And it's kind of, in those situations, even normally, you're like, really, I suppose I ought to help. Sort of that. Well, certainly in this country, that's what you do. If you come across somebody like that in the street, you go and help them. But there I was thinking, should I help him? Shouldn't I help him? Am I allowed to help him? Can I get close to him? Which is kind of actually such a crazy thing to think. And it just reminded me of when we were in China. And now, in China, that's one thing I really noticed was, now, if somebody was in need, loads of people would help them, but only if they knew them. They'd go out of their way completely. They would like go to the other end of the country to help somebody if they knew them. But even if they were like just from their local area and they didn't know them, they would just not get involved at all. And I felt like that. I felt like I shouldn't really get involved. But then this guy was just like lying in the road and the cars were coming and everything. I was like, I've got to help him. So obviously I did. I stopped and I helped him. And it was very funny because he was like, I'm not drunk, And I was like, you smell very strongly of alcohol. I think you probably are. But anyway, so I just, I picked him up. And I just made sure he was actually safe on the pavement. He was far from stable. I don't know. I just popped him up against a post, so made sure that he wasn't actually going to fall back into the road. He may well have fallen over again into the pavement, but I figured that was not that dangerous. It was just that he was actually lying in the road with cars coming right for him that I thought I ought to pick him up. But yeah, it just made me think about this whole COVID thing. It's like, are we losing our sort of social conscience? Are we, thinking that everybody else is a threat to us? Are we thinking that, more about what threat other people are to us rather than what we can do to help other people? And I felt a bit sad, anyway, about that. And because I thought even I feel as if I've been infected by this kind of thinking. Not been infected by coronavirus, thankfully, but I have been infected by this bad thinking. I should have done more, I think. I shouldn't have just have left him propped up against a post. I should have done more, but I didn't have my phone with me. And the other thing was like nobody else came to help me. And I thought that was unusual. Normally somebody else would come and assist. But anyway, so yeah, I just felt a bit sad about that. I'm glad I helped him, and I was careful when I came home and washed my hands and everything. But I just thought that wasn't, that wasn't right.
Come on. Hey, time to walk Pika. See if we can't get something recordable. Carlos was asking for 5 minutes of who you are. I believe that's what it was. Like trying out a new toy here. Let's see how this works. Well, who am I? Oh goodness. My name is Bruce McIntosh. I live in Boardman, Ohio currently. I've been in Ohio since '79. Been in Boardman for 6 or 7 years now. Wait, I've been married 6, so it's been longer than that, 7, 8. Worked field before that, and just gonna take some practice with this gimbal. And let's see what else is going. I'm a runner. My job is a job. It pays. Works at a production facility, factory, doing roll form operator, making metal framings for any type of production, construction. And I do a podcast about running. For those that don't know, right now, I'm walking the dog, but currently training for a marathon. It'd be number 13 or 14, take your pick, and it's, come on, Theo. How would you say it? And let's see here. Pico, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Yeah. It'll be in Canton, Ohio for the Pro Football Hall of Fame Marathon. And I will be, Pico, come on. Come on. Let's see what else. So that's my current goal. I've had a health issue lately. This is supposed to be stabilizing everything. Come over here. Let's see if it doesn't. Hey, it's got me. Looking better than that. Come on, Pico. We're gonna get home. Anyways. Well, this is really bad. I gotta do better. Yeah, that's my thing. I've been running since 55, and now I'm dealing with AFib, atrial fibrillation. Those are the highlights right now. I've been running since I was 38, so we're coming up to 17 years. I've been off and on. I kind of consider myself in my second running career because I was a runner, and then, well, I was running for years and had a couple years where I was barely running, getting out once or twice a month, and then I got back to it. And this thing's going to take some training. All right. And I have no clue how long I've been recording. I think I'm over 5. But that's a very short history of me. I'm trying to describe myself. I'm not very good at it. So I just think I'm a good guy. Nice. Work, run, eat too much, eat the wrong things. I guess that's it.
Well, that first 10 seconds was the sound of some seagulls on the Providence River, right at the saltwater-freshwater merger of the Providence River in Narragansett Bay in Rhode Island. And I was at the port this morning for an interesting inspection of the facility. This is Just Plain Dave from southeastern Massachusetts. and I thought I'd share that with you. Oh, and here I am. There is a beautiful sky, bright clouds. It is, but it's raining on me. I did not expect rain. What a fluke. I didn't even think there's rain in the forecast. Now it's kind of raining kind of hard. That's disappointing. I'm out walking my dog. Oh, it's not just rain. It's hail. My brown dog is accumulating these white spherical dandruff ice blocks. Oh, how interesting. Didn't see that coming. It was fun to go to the port. It is a big old industrial facility. I was there for an engineering inspection, and I am fascinated by the big industrial equipment. They have a couple of cranes that are absolutely mammoth for loading and offloading heavy cargo from ocean-faring ships and vessels. The port also has giant piles because some of what they bring in is just bulk materials. It is one of the biggest importers of salt, as in road salt. Actually, also food salt. Now that I think about it, I am not allowed to say the name of that business, but there is a business that has a huge pile of pristine white salt. It's covered with tarps, of course. But the footprint of the pile, the bottom of the pile, is probably bigger than a soccer field, a football pitch, a football field, depending on what nationality you pay attention to. It's a huge pile. But I was near an area where the salt that is used for de-icing roads in the winter in northeastern United States, where that stockpile was. And it's interesting because there are 3 different colors. There's one kind of pile of road salt that was kind of slightly more gray, another one that was slightly more golden, and one that was whiter. It's very interesting. But then there's these huge cranes and really heavy trucks, big trucks that don't go on the road, like with tires. Each tire is 10 or 12 feet in diameter, so twice my height. Just absolutely huge. It's fascinating. I recall back to when my kids were younger and we would turn the page of children's books and there'd be about like this heavy equipment, and you're just always fascinated by these heavy equipment, the Terex Titan trucks that could, transport hundreds and hundreds of tons of material, like at a coal mine or some other mine. It's just fascinating. Anyway, it's interesting to me because it's something that my company does every year, but most properties we go to don't have such big toys, so to speak. They're not really toys, they're heavy equipment, but to me it's something that's interesting and something I don't deal with every day. I am at a neighbor's house wondering where the dogs are. I'm going to give a whistle and see if they come out to visit. Come here, Daisy. Come here, Bonnie. There you are. Hi. Wait, stop. Who's a good dog? Who's a good dog? Oh, now the dogs are going to play. And that will be my cue for wrapping up this recording. So thank you for letting me share a little bit of a day in the life of Just Plain Dave. I am visiting with the neighbor dogs. They are good. The hail continues to fall, but that's okay. I'm dressed for cold. And I get to talk a little bit about the cool industrial port. So, from southeastern Massachusetts, this is Just Plain Dave. Enjoy your 5 minutes.